Good evening, everyone. I'm Meir Weinstein. I'm joined with Baruch ben Yosef. He's live on Harabayat on the Temple Mount. And ask everyone who's on YouTube, uh, X, Twitter, Instagram, if you could please share this on your social media platforms. We're going to be discussing the Parsha. Today it's Yom Ha'atzmaut, Israel Independence Day, and Baruch is on Harabayat with a group of Jews, large group. There's a lot of Jews lining up right now to go up to, and we had an absence for I don't know, maybe a few months. We're having podcasts live from Harbite, but we're redoing it again. We're back in gear. Baruch, how are you?
Great, and how are you, Mayor? Good. So yeah, because it's
Parsha's Tazria, what's going on?
yeah. Well, first of all, because it's Independence Day, people aren't working, so there's a lot more people than usual, which is, proves the point that if Harabayit, if the Talmud was accessible to us on, when people don't work, there'd be a lot more people would come. Here, now people bowing down.
Excellent.
Bowing down. We're on the eastern side already, and I'm gonna bow down here. Haven't been. Let me just close my jacket. It's not dirty my shirt here. We bow down on the floor, on the stone floor. Because the Temple Mount you're allowed to. Otherwise, you're not allowed to.
Right.
Here I'm going. I'm bowing down.
Wow.
Okay. Now the hardest part is getting up.
Right.
You go. Lots of people bowing down. There you go. You see it here.
Good.
This is actual service. In other words, it's one thing to come up to the Temple Mount, right? But it's another thing that you can actually do service, which is bowing down is part of the service of when you're on the Temple Mount. It would bow down every day. It wasn't like, the rest of the world where they bow down on Yom Kippur once a year. Here it's every day.
Sure.
So this is a very important, which we didn't have last year on the Independence Day, of course, because we were, anybody got caught bowing down was whisked off, taken to the police, banned for a period of time. But now things have changed, and it's a good sign. A good sign. We're moving forward. We're moving forward, right? Oh, see?
It's amazing.
Yeah. So we have a lot of English speakers up here today. The majority of the first group went in, which was with the rabbi, with the Rosh Yeshiva, by Weber. So we're the second group, and it's not even 7:30 yet, which is very good. I'm sure there'll be a lot more people later on. I know for sure. And so we're here. We're now on the eastern side of the Temple Mount. We've already walked across the plaza on the southern side, and here on the eastern side, we're allowed to daven and pray and bow down and so on. So they'll be praying now the morning service, and then they'll be doing Hallel, of course, because it's Yom Ha'atzmaut, it's Independence Day. We say the Hallel with a bracha. Rabbi Kana taught us, right? Say it both at night and day with a bracha, with a blessing, which a lot of people don't do. As Rabbi Kana is actually more how would you call it, more Zionistic than even they're starting already the prayer service. So we'll be saying Kedusha in a minute. Let's follow him. Let's follow along.
וזוכר חסדי אבות מביא גואל לפני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן ברוך אדוני אלוהי ישראל לעולמות העולם ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם.
ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים מעטרה ולהושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים, מקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים. ברוך אדוני אלוהי ישראל מן העולם עד העולם, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה המתים.
ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. נא תשח ונעריצה סוד ספק קודש עם שרשים לך קדושה וכן כתוב על יד נביאה וקרא זה קדוש קדוש קדוש
קדוש קדוש קדוש חי צבאות מלוך כל הארץ כבודו לעומתם משבחים ואומרים
ברוך הוא אדוני מקומו
ברוך כבוד אדוני מקומות וקודשך כתוב לאמור
לא אדוני ציון לא בדור
ציון דור ודור הללויה הקדוש ושמך הקדוש וקדושים בכל ימינו חסלה ברוך אדוני אלוהי ישראל מן העולם עד העולם ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. Okay, I'll move away now a little bit since we're able to say Kedusha. אני רק חושב שזה שבט, ספויב הרגליים. מה? Okay, I'm going to sit down here. And here we're right in front of the place of the temple here. See some people standing in front of me. And we have the people here behind me davening, saying the morning service. And we have the this week's portion, as you mentioned, is a double portion, Tazria Mitzorah, right? It's dealing mostly with the issues of purity and impurity, mostly things that are related to the body of the person, right? We have like leprosy is a very big issue here in the portion. Okay, leprosy, as we know, it's a disease that a person gets, which basically causes him to. It's very, very dangerous these days. Most people, I think it's incurable, or maybe there's some leprosies are curable, but in any event, we call it leprosy, but it's really not leprosy we're dealing with, because what we're dealing with is a spiritual illness, not a physical illness. It expresses itself in physical ways, but we're dealing here. I mean, the Torah is not a book of medicine. You know, it's not. It didn't. Last week we dealt with the animals that we're not allowed to eat because they're impure. The animals, the birds, the fish, and so on. But a lot of people say, well, you can't eat them because they're not healthy. Well, if they're not healthy, then the non-Jews wouldn't be allowed to eat them either. It's not that they're not healthy; they're spiritually impure.
Right.
And by them being spiritually impure, if we would eat it, we would become spiritually impure, and it would affect our spirituality. Okay, so there's no problem for non-Jews to eat it because there's no danger in it if it's prepared properly. Obviously, any food has to be refrigerated, stored properly, prepared properly, but it doesn't have any spiritual effect on the non-Jews. But it would have on the Jews that eat things that are spiritually impure. For the most part, like everybody knows, anything related to a pig is. Okay, I gotta move away here because it's saying I'm bothering them. So we're allowed to eat pig, not because it's not healthy. You know, a lot of people say, well, it's got trichinosis if you eat it. That's not the issue. The issue is that it's spiritually impure. And by eating it, we become spiritually impure. And the whole object, and especially anything to do with the temple, is for us to be spiritually pure because we are Hashem, we are God's representatives in this world. We're representing Him. We're the chosen nation, right? A holy nation. So we have to be holy. We have to be pure. We have to be spiritual, and that's all. That's everything that has to do with the Temple Mount, right? Why are we coming up here? Why do we want to come to the Temple Mount? Why do we want to rebuild the temple? Why do we want to renew the service? All the services related to the temple, those sacrifices, and everything related to the priests and the Levites and so on, is because we're a holy nation and we want to bring this holiness to the world.
Right.
And the only way we can do it for real, is through the temple. All the other, all the other, the idea that the Jews are going to be bringing spirituality to the world without the temple is ridiculous. It's a non-starter.
Right.
And we've seen that now for 2,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We try to remain a spiritual holy nation for the most part, except when the non-Jews gave us an opportunity to get out. A lot of Jews got out. They couldn't deal with being this chosen nation. And now and it's an obligation, it's a responsibility, being a chosen nation, being a holy nation. And and anything to do with the temple and the Temple Mount and holiness and purity and so on, it's a big responsibility. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's diaspora Judaism that we've become accustomed to for the last 2,000 years. It's very easy. Well, what do you have to do? You get up in the morning, you say some prayers, you put on the talit tefillin, you pray, go to work. You eat food that's kosher for the most part. Keep the Sabbath, keep the holidays as far as that. Don't transgress. Don't profane the holidays. And I think here the Kohanim that are about to give us a blessing. Here.
Good.
Here we go.
Adonai, פניו אליך, וישם לך שלום.
Baruch Shem Shuvah B'Chol Olam V'ed. All right, so we got blessed by the Kohen. There's one Kohen. So the idea is that now we're talking about in this portion of Mitzora means a leper, right? And that's how we interpret it. But what happens is that we say that because of sins that the person did, certain sins, he has to be separated from the rest of the people because he's so impure. The Mitzora, the leper, is so impure that he has to be separated from the people. He's kept outside the camp, as we say, outside the city. He can't come in contact with anybody until he becomes pure again. So he's committed very serious sins, and because of these sins, he's becomes impure, and he is separated from the rest of the people.
Right.
And then the whole process for him to become pure again. The interesting thing is again, he doesn't go to a doctor. Who does he go to? Who tells him that he's become impure or become pure? Is a Kohen. He goes to the Kohen.
Right.
The Kohen, the priest, the one which proves that it's a spiritual thing. Because the priest is not a doctor. The Kohen is not a doctor. But they're doing the Hallel now. Yeah, they're singing out loud. Again, this is precedent.
Wow, it is.
In the past, any kind of singing. Yeah, they're singing, dancing, clapping. All this is all, this is all new, and it's really great. So I'll say the Hallel later. We'll continue with our program here. But and look, the police are standing here watching, not interfering as they used to do.
Right.
That's very good, very good, very good, very good.
We didn't have this last year
Well,
on
it's
Yom
coming.
Kippur.
No way, no way. If they would do this last year, oh, the cop now is might be getting even too much for them.
Oh,
He's trying to interfere here, but okay, we'll see what happens. They're going to continue with the Hallel. I don't know how much time they're going to give us here. They got the guy here. If you look over here, you see those guys over there, those two guys? You
yes.
see them in the distance?
Yes.
Those are the Waqf guys. Those are
Right.
from the Islamic Trust.
Right.
They're not allowed to get close to us anymore,
Hmm.
which is good because they used to come and follow us around and bother us and interfere and so on. Now they have to keep a distance. So they stand there and they take pictures from a distance. What they do is they take pictures and then the Arab press releases it and they say under police protection, the settlers stormed the Alaska Mosque.
Right.
I was unbelievable. Are we storming anything here? I mean, seriously, it's unbelievable. I mean, just you look at the Arab press. I mean, we've had the last couple of days now these big fires in Israel, like
Yeah.
unprecedented fires, and the weather had a lot to do with it. The weather today is a lot better than it was the last 2 days, but the Arabs were publicizing on the social media to go out and light fires,
Yeah.
openly calling for arson.
Yeah.
And it shows that they have no concern for the land. They have no connection to this land. They shouldn't be here.
What does it
It's a
take for
mistake to leave them
everyone to
here.
say?
I mean,
What does it take for everyone to finally acknowledge Rabbi Kahana was 100% correct? I mean, they're publicizing
that's interesting. It's the interesting thing is that that's amazing. You hear people now talking openly, promoting the ideas of Rabbi Kahana, and then you
Yeah.
say, so just admit Rabbi Kahana was right. Say, yeah, of course he was right. But it's always but.
But
I hate that word, but. It's always, yeah, but. Yeah, he was right, but it wasn't the right time.
it wasn't the
Not
right
the right time. It wasn't right now because it wasn't the right time. We got smacked in the face with October 7th.
Yeah.
People aren't intellectually honest. It doesn't matter if you're left or right. I used to say it was the leftists are not intellectually honest, but the right wing also
Right.
is not intellectually honest. That's why Rabbi Kahana used to say, and there's just thing he said, we're not left and we're not right. We're in the middle. We're Torah. We're the truth. We're not. Anytime you go to they would call us extremists. He'd say anything to the extreme is bad. We're not extremists. We're the opposite. And so Rabbi Kahana was right. A lot of people admit it today, and but yet still, I remember there was a radio personality named Adir Zik who said after Rabbi Kahana was killed, he said, until there's a line of people from Tel Aviv to Rabbi Kahana's grave waiting online to ask for forgiveness for not, listening to him, it's not gonna, it won't be over. It's got the only way it'll
Right.
end is when they apologize to him for not listening. And they could have listened.
Right.
They had a prophet amongst us warning us, and the amazing thing is that today is one of Rabbi Kahana's followers, Michael Ben Ari, Dr. Michael Ben Ari, who's a PhD from Bar Ilan, and he called almost perfectly what happened October 7th. He was saying
Yep.
that it's gonna at some point they're gonna storm through the fence and take over 16 settlements or kibbutzim or shavim. He called it perfectly, and now he's on trial. He's on trial for saying that. In other words, because he warned about that before it happened, he was indicted. And now, even though it happened. They don't have enough. intellectual honesty to withdraw and say, okay, you know what, you were right, we were wrong,
Right.
we apologize. We're gonna give you a job of being in charge or something.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. It's amazing. We're at the point here. Still saying Hallel. I'm gonna sit down here, keep my distance from them so I don't bother them. Maybe I'll get to say Kaddish. I'm almost finished with the Kaddish for my mother. I have another week of Kaddish. It'll be 11 months since my mother passed away. So hopefully I'll say here a Kaddish. And no, time flies. It just keeps running. You can't stop it. You can't stop time.
No.
Well, we could control time here from the Temple Mount. Hashem gave us permission to control time. He said, "You guys determine when the holidays will be. Make a Sanhedrin and you go see when the new moon is, and you determine when." So we're not sitting down. Well, maybe we'll take Kaddish. I don't know what's going on today. They're saying a lot of people. He's the head. He's the Mefaket of Harabite. Begin shalom laolam. Shalom. Sameach. He's the chief officer of the Temple Mount. Just wish you all guys a Chag Sameach. I don't know if we'll get a chance to say Kaddish here or not. They're almost finished with the home. So, see, this is how the Arabs keep the Temple Mount. Right? There are these chairs here.
Exactly.
It's all over the place.
Exactly. They do that. They set fire. Yeah.
They don't, because they don't believe in that this is a holy place. Really, they just know it's a holy place for the Jewish people.
Right.
So they all of a sudden, want to usurp it from us. It's interesting. Soon we'll be celebrating Jerusalem Independence Day. Jerusalem, the Yom Yerushalayim,
Right.
the day in the 6-Day War when Jerusalem was free. But it's Jerusalem, but it wasn't just Jerusalem. Remember, it was all of Judea and Samaria, the Golan Heights, the Sinai, and so on.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that before the 6-Day War, the Arab world, the Muslims, considered the cave of the Machpelah in Hebron holier than the Temple Mount. Right? It's amazing. And all of a sudden, of the confrontation, and all of a sudden, Jerusalem is now, Temple Mount is more holy than the cave of the Machpelah in Hebron. They did a switch, and then they had all kinds of plans to make this even holier than Mecca. It's just amazing. And and instead of the Jews just saying, you know what, you guys had it enough time, it's not yours, you guys are finished, go to Mecca, we won't bother you in Mecca, you can do all the praying you want in Mecca, but here the Temple Mount is belongs to us, not to them. Unfortunately, like we know, as Rabbi kind of call them, the myopic leaders that we've had, and we still have, nothing's changed. The amazing thing is, I hate to say it, when you look at the leaders that we've had over all the years, he ends up being a top-notch leader. I mean, despite the fact that President Truman told him, don't declare a state, and he had no backing from his own people. The only guy who backed him was Rabbi Maimon from the National Religious, and then he declared a state despite all the pressure not to declare the state. And Rabbi Kana would mention that. He says, if it was some rabbi, he would say, "Well, pikuach nefesh, it's dangerous. They'll attack us." This guy, this
Right.
David Ben-Gurion, because he was so. The amazing thing is that he was so influenced by the Bible, by the Tanakh, and that he saw himself as like a continuation of some kind of you know, biblical character or something. That he suddenly got this courage and inspiration to declare a state despite all the pressure.
Right.
And of course, right away we were attacked by the Arabs, but we fought back. Unfortunately, for 19 years we didn't have Jerusalem because of the stupid infighting between the Jews. But um, that always goes with it. Like today, we're fighting a war together. I mean, he's saying Kaddish. Okay, he says here now we would we're supposed to take out the Sefer Torah now and read from the Sefer Torah. Well, we obviously can't bring a Sefer Torah up here now, so they'll be reading from the phone the
Right.
portion in Deuteronomy related to the redemption in the portion of Nitzavim, or the portion of Nitzavim related to the redemption. But usually today's Thursday, we'd read from Tazria, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because it's Yom Ha'atzmaut, read the special reading for Yom Ha'atzmaut, which is in Nitzavim. So, the redemption. Wait, here we have a potential here. We have a Jew named Hillel from Massachusetts.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, that's Meir
Good to see
Weinstein.
you.
Mayor, nice to meet you.
So Hillel, what do you have to say? Give us some inspiration here.
Oh, wow. So I've been on Harabites here many, many times. But this is by far the most I've ever seen. I've never seen us going up at 7 and there's so many people that they had to send another group already before us. So it's really inspiring. Over Pesach as well, there was a lot more than normal. I think they had thousands of people. So it just goes to show, the trajectory is with us. Like we are reconquering the land and becoming holy, and this is going to be our place, Baruch Hashem, pretty soon.
There you have it.
Absolutely.
What else? You have any questions for Hillel from Massachusetts? Where do you live now, Hillel?
I live
How long you
in
been there for?
Yerushalayim
Did you-
here.
Right.
What?
I've been here for a year. I'm joining the army next year. I'm doing a year of like yeshiva first, but
Excellent.
What unit you going into, Hillel?
Excellent.
hopefully like Sayat Givati or something.
Oh, it's good. Good choice.
Okay.
Good choice. Good luck.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Kill
Mayor,
a lot of
nice-
enemies.
Yeah. We go. Mayor, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Excellent.
Excellent.
What?
Keep it up.
אנחנו? Okay. למה? Okay, so got a lot of interesting people here today. Like Hill said, more than usual. And that's the
Right.
problem, is that if Harbai was open in the evenings, at nighttime, after people finished working or going to school, if it was open throughout the day, it was open on Shabbat, and there'd be a lot more people would come. But they don't want us here, really. That's the whole point, is that we're here despite them. They would much rather
Right.
us. They much rather have,
Baruch, I
But,
think we have the battery on this computer is going rapidly. I think we have another about
Oh.
10 minutes where this
Okay.
battery
All right.
really.
Anyhow, we're almost finished. Anyhow, we're so to finish off on the Parsha, for the two Parshas actually. Tazria talks about, of course, it starts off with the purity and impurity of a mother who gives birth to,
Yeah.
That's how it starts off. Then it goes into, again, other issues of purity and impurity. And then, of course, we said Metzorah talks about the leprosy, impurity. There's a couple interesting things where it talks about people having spots on their clothes and spots on the walls of their house,
Right.
like leprosy of the clothes and the house. Again, connected to problems of spirituality, can affect even a person's. It can outwardly manifest itself in somebody's clothes and his house and so on. So the issue of purity is not just an issue of some woman who has to become pure so she can have relations with her husband, but that's just that's wherever you are. But here, purity and impurity is a lot bigger issue, especially when it comes to the temple. Everything becomes an issue of purity and impurity. It's a whole different. It's a whole different. It's a whole different. What do you call it? Dynamic. It's a whole different way of life. To
Right.
people to constantly be concerned with themselves being pure and impure because they have to come up to the Temple Mount. They want to come up to the Temple Mount. They want to bring an offering. They want to come and pray. They want to come and bow down, and they have to be constantly in tune with this whole way of life, this whole different way of life. So it's a revolution, like Temple Mount revolution that we started years ago. Coming up to the Temple Mount, back in the days, you remember, everybody knew everybody. It was a small little clique of a few people, a lot of Rabbi
Right.
Kana followers and some other people, and that was it. And we didn't really bother anybody because we were so small. It was like a fly, It was just all of a sudden, at some point, we started growing and growing, and now we've become a major issue, a major concern to the authorities and the Arabs and so on. Not enough yet. We're still, we get closer, but we're still far away. And I talk to a lot of people. I don't understand. A lot of people say that this really. There are people that don't want to come up, don't think we should be coming up. They have a whole philosophy on it, whole ideology, etc. So that's their thing. But the problem, the people. There's so many people that say, yes, of course you can go up. Yes, it's a mitzvah to go up. Sure, we have to go up, and they don't come up. Especially a lot of rabbis, they don't come up. And
Right.
Okay. Hopefully, I'm gonna let me say Kaddish here. Man, saying Kaddish here. So anyhow, here we are on the north side here. Okay, so we see here the courtyard of the temple. If things were right, we'd see here Kohanim, and we'd see here an altar, we see here animals. But we're still we're not there yet.
Right.
We're not there yet. We're getting there. Here's another person.
Only when it's nice. I'm speaking very nice. I'm asking you to stop. Yeah, okay. Stop laughing and thank you. Have a good day.
Hi, sir. Would you like to speak to, this is the Never Again television station in Canada.
Oh,
And I don't know your name. What's your name?
Canada has TV stations?
I don't. What's your name?
I'm Avi Grossman.
Avi Grossman. Do you have some words of inspiration for the Jews throughout the world?
Yeah, leave.
Good.
Everybody, if there were more Jews here, see this place is, notice how this place is just full of Arabs, but it's not. Because Jews want to be here, so they have to artificially keep away the Jews. If all the Jews would be here, we'd be done with this already.
I mean,
I started singing. Someone had to see them. I said, no, you can't sing. We need more people here. We need more people. And you don't belong there. Especially in Canada. What are you doing in Canada?
absolutely.
Is it snowing there today?
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Happy holiday.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're
Excellent. Baruch,
usually we get some yeah. So
we're gonna wrap it up.
we're gonna have to
because,
sign off now.
Yeah, because it's showing that
Okay.
it's almost nothing.
All right.
Final words.
Okay, so here we go. We're final words are, as you heard here from the previous speaker, Jews have to come home to Eretz Israel, and of course, come here to Har HaBayit, come to the Temple Mount. The more Jews that there are here, the less Arabs. Wherever you are in Eretz Israel, the more Jews that there are, the less Arabs there are. So you need, that's what we need. We need. Time has come. We need to, as Jabotinsky told the Jews in Europe back in the 30s, and Rabbi Kahana told the Jews back in the 70s and 80s, you got to get out before it's too late.
Right.
Anti-Semitism is on the rise, of course, as you know. You're so involved in that.
Yep.
And but you know what? I say, get out before the anti-Semites make you leave.
Yep.
Get out on your own, on your own terms for positive reasons,
Yep.
not because you had to run away from the anti-Semites.
Right.
So, Meir, thanks for having me. Have a, as we say, a Chag Sameach for the Independence Day. A happy Independence Day and a Shabbat Shalom, and
Shabbat
hopefully we'll be back to
next week.
steady. Yeah.
Every
Okay.
week we'll do it. Yes. Thank you, Baruch. Shabbat Shalom.
All right.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yep.
Shalom.